Level 1, the applicant. It all starts with a simple online application. You go to the CIA website and fill out a form. Name, education, work experience, some personal information. Nothing different from any other job application. You click submit, and then you wait. 6 months pass before anything happens. An email appears in your inbox. They want to interview you. You book a flight to Virginia and pay for it yourself. When you arrive, the building is nothing special. It looks like a normal government office. Fluorescent lights, generic hallways, mediocre coffee. A man in a gray jacket escorts you to a room. The interview lasts 4 hours. Questions come one after another. Have you ever traveled to certain countries? Where did you grow up? Have you ever been arrested? How many languages do you speak? Have you ever used drugs? At first glance, these questions seem random. They are not. Every answer is used to build a picture of your life. They are looking for inconsistencies. They are looking for signals. They are looking for lies. If you pass this stage, the next step is the polygraph. You sit in a chair while sensors are attached to your chest, fingers, and arm. A technician monitors screens while asking you questions. Have you ever committed a crime without being caught? Have you ever betrayed someone close to you? Have you ever thought about harming someone? The machine records your heart rate, breathing, and skin responses. It can't actually determine with certainty if you are lying. But you don't know that. Tension rises. You sweat. Every word feels heavier than usual. In the end, you tell the truth because the idea of lying feels too risky. 3 weeks later, you receive a letter. You have been admitted to the clandestine service training program. Your new life is about to begin. Level 2, the trainee. The destination is called Camp Peary, Virginia. Among insiders, it has another name, the farm. It is a massive training facility, about 9,000 acres of woods, swamps, and operational structures. Everything is fenced in and monitored by armed guards. For the next 18 months, you will live here. The day starts at 5 in the morning. Before breakfast, you run 5 miles. Then come the lessons. Hours of study on foreign governments, terrorist networks, and intelligence operational methods. At the CIA, they call this tradecraft. It is the set of skills that turns an ordinary person into an operational agent. You learn to recognize surveillance. A car that appears behind you too often. A man watching you more than necessary. A face you encounter in different places on the same day. These are small details, but together they form a pattern, and you must learn to see it. You are also taught how to cover your tracks. You move through crowded malls, change direction, use side exits. Sometimes a car waits for you at a predetermined spot. In minutes, you disappear. Training continues with more technical skills. Picking locks, opening safes, installing bugs, photographing documents without leaving traces. The tools are not simulations. The safes come from real embassies. The locks from government buildings. Then comes an even more delicate part, asset recruitment. You study psychology, manipulation, and persuasion techniques. Instructors repeat the same theory. Almost anyone can be recruited if you find the right motivation. There are 4 most common levers: money, ideology, coercion, ego. Your job is to figure out which lever works and use it. Exercises do not only take place at the farm. You are often sent to nearby cities, Richmond, Norfolk, Washington. There, instructors play foreign agents trying to identify you. If they catch you, you lose. If it happens too many times, you are removed from the program. About 40% of candidates don't make it to the end. Some break under pressure. Others cannot bear to live in lies. Still others realize they don't want this kind of work. Those who remain share one quality. They can adapt. They can convince others. And when needed, they can convince themselves. When training ends, you rank in the top 15% of your class. You receive a badge and a new cover identity. You are now officially a CIA operative. But the real work starts now. Level 3, the case officer. Your first mission takes you to Eastern Europe, a former Soviet bloc country still deciding which side to align with. On paper, you are a political officer at the U.S. Embassy. Your name appears in the diplomatic list, and you have an office within the building. You attend receptions, official meetings, and diplomatic dinners. You talk about economics, politics, and international cooperation. But while you smile and make conversation, you are observing. Who talks too much? Who seems frustrated? Who might have access to sensitive information? Because your real job is not writing reports. It is recruiting assets. An asset is anyone who can provide useful information. A government official attending state meetings. a military officer who knows troop movements, a scientist involved in sensitive technology projects, a secretary handling classified documents. Anyone with access can become a source. You identify potential targets and begin studying them. Their habits, their ambitions, their vulnerabilities. Maybe they have financial problems. Maybe they are disillusioned with their government. Maybe they want to feel important. Everyone has a lever. You just have to find it. Your first recruitment takes months. The man works at the foreign ministry. He is not a high-ranking figure, but sees many diplomatic documents. And he has a weakness for gambling. You meet him at a casino. At first, you speak little. Then more and more. You become friends. When he loses too much money, you help. You lend him something to cover the debt. It happens again. And again. In the end, the debt reaches $50,000. By the time he realizes the situation, it's too late. You don't ask him to betray his country. Only to share a few documents. Nothing truly important. Just enough to cover the debt. He agrees. You now have a source within the foreign ministry. Back up the chain of command. The response comes shortly after. They are satisfied. Level 4, the NOC. Most CIA officers work under official cover. They are listed as diplomats, military attachés, or commercial officers. They have an office at the embassy. They have a badge. They have a recognized title. If they are discovered doing something they shouldn't, there is a protective network. Diplomatic immunity. The host country protests. The agent is declared persona non grata and sent home. It's an embarrassing situation. But it ends there. The family remains safe. The career continues. Then there's another category. Much rarer. Much riskier. It's called non-official cover. NOC. Pronounced knock. Here, there is no embassy. No immunity. No document proving you work for the U.S. government. If you are discovered, you are on your own. The government will deny any connection to you. The State Department will say they don't know you. Officially, you never existed. The rest depends on the country you are in. In some cases, it means years in prison. In others, much harsher interrogations. In others still, it means disappearing without a trace. The pay is higher. The missions are more sensitive. The risk is enormously greater. You accept it anyway. To start, they build you a legend. It's the intelligence term for a false biography, complete in every detail. New job. New past. New contacts. You are now a business consultant. You work for a real consulting firm. Real offices, real employees, real clients. It is a structure created to support your cover. No one there knows who you really are. You travel to countries where, officially, the United States has no intelligence activity. You meet people diplomats cannot approach. You build relationships that an embassy could never manage. Your cover is not something you use occasionally. It is your life. Neighbors see you as a consultant who travels frequently for work. The person you date believes the same story. Your family thinks you left government work years ago. Only a few people in Langley know the truth. And you almost never see them. Communications happen through encrypted systems, indirect messages, and dead drops, hidden spots to leave information without meeting anyone. No office. No team. Just you. Level 5, the paramilitary officer. Your NOC career ends almost by accident. Beirut. A local security service starts taking an interest in you. At first, it's just small signals. A car appearing too often. A familiar face in the crowd. Someone taking photographs. Then the mistake happens. You are caught meeting one of your sources. You spot the surveillance and stop the operation before it's too late. But the attention on you is real. The cover isn't completely destroyed, but it's compromised. You can no longer operate in that region. Langley decides to relocate you. They offer you a new path. Special Activities Division. The CIA's paramilitary branch. Here, the rules change. They're not agents who occasionally carry a weapon. They are trained fighters who also work with intelligence. Within the division, there is an even more selective unit, the Special Operations Group. They operate where the military cannot officially appear. Missions too sensitive, too secret, too easy to deny. To enter, you must undergo another training cycle. 6 months. Many consider it among the toughest military programs in existence. Small unit combat tactics, close quarters operations, use of explosives and demolitions. You are trained on nearly every modern weapon. High-altitude parachuting, operational diving, survival in hostile environments, evasion and escape techniques. You also learn to resist interrogations. Many instructors come from the elite units of U.S. Special Forces, former Delta Force, former Navy SEALs. They don't care about your experience recruiting informants. They want to know if you can lead a team under fire, if you can enter a hostile room and get out alive. Your first mission arrives soon after. Afghanistan. Your team has a precise objective: identify and neutralize key figures in terrorist networks. Operational leaders, Taliban commanders, explosive specialists. You spend months in a mud complex in the mountains. You adapt to local life: long beard, traditional clothes, local food. You work with local militias. Some have fought alongside you for years. Others have switched sides more than once. Here, alliances are never permanent. Money influences many decisions. You can never be certain who is truly on your side. Sometimes you locate a hidden target in an isolated building. You confirm the coordinates. Then you call in a drone strike. You watch from afar as a Hellfire missile hits the target. When the intelligence is correct, the operation eliminates extremely dangerous people. But intelligence is not perfect. Sometimes the target isn't where you expected, and someone pays the price. You try not to think about it too much. You can't afford to. Tomorrow, there will be another mission, another decision, another night spent asking yourself if you made the right choice. For your work, you receive a medal. It will not appear in any public record. It is for an operation that officially never happened. In a country where, on paper, you were never present. Your family will never know what you did, nor why some nights you wake up suddenly in the dark. Level 6, the team leader. After 5 years in the Special Activities Division, a promotion arrives. You become a team leader. For the first time, you are no longer just an operator. Now you must lead others. Your unit consists of 8 people. 4 are CIA paramilitary officers trained like you. The other 4 are contractors, former Special Forces now working for the agency. They earn much more than you. But the decisions are yours. If something goes wrong, the responsibility is yours. Your first mission as a leader comes during the Libyan civil war. Muammar Gaddafi's regime is collapsing, and the country is fracturing into armed factions. The streets are controlled by different militias, often at war with each other. Amid the chaos, one problem worries Washington more than any other: chemical weapons stockpiles. The risk is that they could disappear. If they fall into the hands of extremist groups, they could be used anywhere in the world. Your team is sent to locate and neutralize them. You arrive in Tripoli while the city is still experiencing fighting. Operations take place mostly at night. During the day, you sleep a few hours in safe houses that are constantly changed. Every contact could be a trap. You pay militia commanders for information. You talk to informants who might make up stories to earn money. You interrogate prisoners captured by allied groups. You can't fully trust anyone. When you receive a credible lead, the team moves. You enter the stockpiles in the dead of night. Doors breached. Torches lit. Weapons ready. You never know what you'll find on the other side. Sometimes empty warehouses. Other times armed men. After weeks of searching, you find something that did not exist in official records. 3 hidden stockpiles. Inside are containers full of mustard gas. 15 tons. Enough to cause a catastrophe if used against civilians. There is no safe way to transport them out of the country. The decision is immediate. Destruction on sight. The team sets explosive charges and secures the area. When the operation ends, almost nothing remains of the stockpile. On the last night before extraction, however, something goes wrong. Your convoy is attacked. Automatic gunfire. Chaos in the dark. One of your men falls. 2 others are injured. You pick one up and carry him toward the evacuation point while the team returns fire. Half a kilometer that feels endless. Then you hear the helicopter. You board and leave the country. In Washington, the mission is considered a success. But a victory does not erase the losses. You must write to your men's families. The letters are brief, formal, and incomplete. You cannot tell them what really happened. Level 7, the Chief of Station. 15 years have passed since you joined the CIA. Your body bears the marks of every mission. Old fractures, scars, aches that never fully go away. Your right shoulder has never been the same since a fall in Afghanistan. Your knees protest every morning after too many parachute jumps, and there is always a faint ringing in your ears, a consequence of too many nearby explosions. You're just over 40, but you feel much older. The agency doctors are clear. Operational work is over. Your next assignment will be different. You are appointed Chief of Station. Chief of Station. It means you become responsible for all CIA activities in an entire country. It is one of the most sensitive positions in American intelligence. You're no longer in the field, but all operations pass through you. You manage a team of dozens, operational officers, analysts, technical specialists, and security personnel. Under your network are also hundreds of local sources, agents, informants, contacts working in ministries, military bases, or strategic companies. Every day begins with a meeting with the American ambassador. It's necessary to coordinate intelligence activities with diplomacy. Then come the meetings with local intelligence services. Some cooperate sincerely, others pretend, and some, years earlier, might have been recruited by you. The work is no longer physical. It is political. Washington demands results. The embassy fears diplomatic incidents. The local government watches every American move with suspicion. You have to keep everything balanced. Some operations could generate crucial intelligence, but if something goes wrong, they could trigger international crises. Every decision is a gamble. When an operation succeeds, it remains classified. When it fails, it hits the news. Sleeping becomes difficult. For hours a night, if you're lucky. Holidays do not exist. Your private life has paid the price. Your marriage ended years ago. Your children are grown. They know you only through the story you told them. Your cover, not the person you truly are. Level 8, the Black Site Commander. One day, Langley contacts you with a special request. They need someone to run a very special facility. A facility that officially does not exist. A black site. It is located in a country willing to deny its existence. The local government has been compensated to turn a blind eye. Security forces protect the perimeter. But they ask no questions. From the outside, the building looks anonymous. It could be a warehouse, an abandoned factory, an old military installation. Inside, the reality is different. Detention cells, interrogation rooms, medical personnel tasked with keeping detainees in a physical state to continue interrogations. The prisoners are considered extremely high value. Leaders of terrorist groups, explosives experts, financiers of clandestine networks. They have been captured in secret operations across different countries. Officially, they are not listed as arrested. They have never seen a court. They have no lawyers. To the rest of the world, they simply disappeared. Your task is to obtain information. Every detail could prevent an attack. The techniques used are classified. Within the agency, they are called enhanced interrogation. Methods include sleep deprivation, controlled physical stress, temperature manipulation, and other forms of psychological pressure. Over the years, their legality has been the subject of endless debate. Some were authorized by legal memoranda. Others remain controversial. In Washington, lawyers debate the documents. You work with people who may know where the next attack will occur. You tell yourself that your work saves lives. Sometimes you believe it. Other nights, you stay awake in the dark, wondering where the line lies between security and what you never imagined doing. You run the facility for 2 years. Then comes the time to leave. You receive a recognition. It will never appear in any public archive. The facility will continue to operate, with another commander. You don't ask who it will be. You prefer not to know. Level 9, the Division Director. Eventually, you return to Langley. Headquarters. The same building you entered 25 years ago as a nervous candidate with an online application just submitted. Now you walk the halls as one of the agency's senior executives. Every morning, you pass the memorial. A stone wall with a series of engraved stars. Each represents an officer who died in the line of duty. There are no names, only stars. Some belong to people you knew, some to colleagues you worked with, some to men and women who died in operations you helped plan. You now lead a division of the National Clandestine Service. It could be the division managing the Middle East. It could be the one coordinating paramilitary operations worldwide, or the one hunting international terrorist networks. Whatever the division, the scale is enormous. Hundreds of operational officers report to you. Thousands of sources worldwide feed information into your systems. Every day, reports arrive from dozens of countries. The budget you manage is immense. Funds from the so-called black budget, money allocated for secret operations. Money that does not appear in public accounts. Money that officially does not exist. Part of your job is informing government leadership. Sometimes this means attending extremely high-level meetings. The Situation Room, the President, the Secretary of Defense, the National Security Advisor. In those rooms, decisions are made that will never be publicly disclosed. You present analyses. You suggest options. Sometimes you recommend targets, drone operations, clandestine missions, activities in countries where, officially, America does not operate. Syria, Iran, Pakistan, places where alliances shift quickly and the line between friend and enemy is often blurred. Some decisions are extremely sensitive. If they became public, they could trigger diplomatic crises. Or worse, periodically you must testify before congressional intelligence committees. There are official hearings, but the most important discussions happen behind closed doors. No cameras, no transcripts. Senators ask questions. You answer carefully. Your answers are true, but not always complete. Everyone in the room understands the dynamic. Politics requires one thing above all: plausible deniability. This is how the system continues to function. Operations around the world. Information constantly flowing. Sometimes that information prevents attacks. Other times, it leads to operations with other consequences. Intelligence is a complex mechanism, a system fueled by secrets, difficult decisions, and enormous responsibility. And you are one of the people running it. Level 10, the Ghost. After 30 years of service, the time comes to leave. 3 decades spent in a world that almost no one sees. 30 years of secret missions, of operations that officially never existed, of people recruited, protected, and sometimes lost. Decisions that influenced events across different parts of the world. Events that will rarely be recorded in history books. Your exit from the agency is marked by a discreet ceremony. A conference room at Langley. About 50 people present. Many are colleagues you worked with for years. Others are officers you trained at the start of their careers. Now they lead new operations. The agency director gives a short speech, speaking of service, of sacrifice, of what it means to dedicate a life to the security of your country. In the end, you receive a medal, one of the highest honors the agency can award. It will never be displayed publicly. It remains locked in a box, because you cannot tell anyone what you did to earn it. Before leaving, you sign additional confidentiality documents. They remind you that all information you possess remains classified. Forever. You leave Langley and move to a quiet home in Virginia. A normal life, or as normal as possible. Many of the people you worked with are still abroad. Some are dead. The people you knew before the agency have changed. You have changed even more. There are things you cannot tell anyone. Where you have been, what you have done, why you carry certain scars. Sometimes you wake in the middle of the night, instinctively checking windows and doors. Years of training don't disappear easily. The pension is good. Healthcare is excellent. The government takes care of its people, at least financially. But the hardest part is not money. It's the memories. Operations that didn't go as planned. Sources who trusted you and were compromised. Decisions made under pressure. Officially, none of this ever happened. It will not be acknowledged. It will not be told. In a sense, you become invisible. A man with a life full of events that cannot be shared. A ghost. You did things your country deemed necessary. Actions many citizens would prefer not to know. A burden you carry alone, and likely will carry until the end of your life. One day, when you die, a new star may appear on that wall at Langley. No name, only a symbol. Another anonymous sacrifice. Meanwhile, somewhere in the country, someone is opening the CIA website. Maybe a college student, maybe a young soldier, filling out an application, imagining adventures, spectacular missions, a life like the spies in the movies. They do not yet know the true cost of that choice, the loneliness, the moral compromises, the things they will see and never forget. But sooner or later they will. It always happens, because the cycle continues.